Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. I'm sorry, I'm just checking in to make sure Blake's okay after losing on Thursday.
Oh.
3 weeks in a row, he has lost to his dad in trivia, and I was just checking to make sure he is okay.
He texted me, so proof of life is there.
Proof of life is there. We know he's good. We're all good. We got a great show for you guys today.
Yeah.
Amanda's here, obviously. Hi. She's here. You got some technical difficulties over there.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know the
We're
base
sorting it out.
to keep your microphone from being quiet.
I don't know if they can see it.
Makes your microphone look big.
Yeah, you can't see it.
It does.
Shots.
It's like a 2 foot by
It's
2
a very
foot
fancy
square
base.
of padded cardboard.
Yes. It's very fancy.
Yes. I mean, you actually have the Stream Deck, your cup,
I rearranged the whole
the
desk.
controls, everything is there along with the base of the microphone, and that's still not as big as the base itself.
It's so big. There's a lot of stuff.
It's huge.
Yes. But Blake said that they were having issues with the mic that's supposed to be here, and I didn't want you guys to have to listen to buzzing during the whole show, so I switched the mics.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We don't like listening to the buzzing. I did try to check in on Friday, but there was I don't know, my internet wherever I was in Nashville just wasn't good. So
Maybe it's because you have an Android.
I might. It's possible. It's also possible that there's something wrong with the tower that nobody can seem to fix.
Maybe.
All right. Salomon Services. Like during the summer, they do a great program for youths. And it starts at middle school, high school, and college. If you've got a son or daughter who's trying to get better at sports and be in better shape for next year's sports season, they have classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Middle school is 4 to 5 p.m. High school is 5 to 6, and college is 8 to 9 p.m. So give them a call, Salomon Services, if you're trying to get in shape. I'll be there as well tomorrow. For those of you that have given up on your goal, you might as well get started for next year. You're going to say, I want to be in better shape, so just get started now. And be ahead of the trend. Look at me. I can get you ahead of the trend.
You got a plan. You didn't give me any reads. So
I didn't give you any reads. Here, I'm going to give you a couple of reads.
All right. I'll do a couple.
Look at you. You're just going to do this on the fly.
Powell Heating and Air Conditioning.
Perfect.
Their dedication to customer service has been evident in everything they do for the 39 years that they have been a locally owned business. From the moment they answer your call until the time they leave your home, they are working to make you comfortable and confident about the care and service you receive from Powell. With their fleet of 10 plus trucks, a 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment, they are ready to serve you around the clock. They service all heating and air conditioning brands, and their emergency service is always open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including nights and weekends, also holidays. The team at South State Bank, they are a group of bankers that you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you are looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations to serve you here in St. Augustine: State Road 312, State Road 16, or the beach. You can also visit their website, southstatebank.com. They are a member FDIC.
All right, and Land Title of America, whether you realize it or not, when you refinance the sale or purchase of a home, there's a title company involved. Don't get stuck with some out-of-town title company who doesn't give a crap when you're faced with challenges. Stay local. Choose Land Title of America. Just call or text Stephen Collins, 904-501-4481. He specializes in all types of real estate transactions. Land Title, your local title company, insuring America's land one title at a time because
they give a crap.
Yes, they do. And he will call you back. He's very good about that.
Yes, he is.
He is amazing.
He hasn't been on in a while. We should call him.
We need to get him back on the air, especially since I might be out again on a Thursday. I have a work event to go to in a couple of Thursdays. I feel bad because I love trivia. That's kind of my way of kicking off the weekend.
Yep.
Although I was kicking off the weekend in Nashville on Thursday. The weather was beautiful. I got some amazing fried chicken up there.
Yeah.
A couple days in a row. It was really, really good. I got to tell you, the food was
like
phenomenal.
The spicy fried chicken or just straight fried chicken?
A little bit of spice to it. I wasn't doing the hot chicken. But I have to tell you, my brother-in-law did ribs on the green egg.
Yeah.
I know your husband's an amazing cook, but these were absolutely the best ribs I've ever had.
Are you saying that they're better?
I've never tried Louis ribs because I haven't been invited to dinner.
You have been invited to dinner. You just don't ever accept.
Nice recovery, Amanda. I'll look through the invites on my text messaging.
All right.
According to the Jackie Hurd calendar, we have nothing. Nothing today. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It's National Nurses Day. Go hug a nurse. Be respectful.
We have a lot of nurses in our audience.
Be respectful when you do it, though.
ask for consent. Only consensual hugs for
Only
nurses.
a good hug, yes. If you're related, I'm sure it's completely allowed. This on the Bozard Ford Community Update page, we've got Surf Quest. It's this week, May 11th. It is at 1 o'clock at Mary Street Ramp at Butler Beach, just north of 206. So Surf Quest will be out there, presented by the Arc of the St. John's.
And you'll be able to get there because Troy's not moving any more houses.
Troy's not moving a house. Congratulations to Troy on moving the house.
Fantastic. It got there on Sunday.
People were calling me and they wanted his number.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, does he owe you money? Because I'm not giving you the answer if he owes you money.
No, it's because he was blocking traffic. He was getting yelled at.
Yeah. Task Force Hydro 1, second annual Grand Luau, Mark Lance Armory, May 5th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Amanda and I will be there for catered Hawaiian food, a DJ with music. I love music, hula dancers, and a silent auction raffle. If you want to see a white man who cannot dance, stop by and see me. I will be there.
Oh, I owe you an apology.
Oh,
I have made fun of you a lot about saying Hydro 1 Task Force and getting it wrong.
Task Force Hydro 1, yes.
And so I sat in your seat and I talked about the luau and I said it wrong. And Troy laughed at me and I was like, it's got to be the seat.
Yes.
It has to be the seat. It makes you reverse it.
Yes.
So
it's just
I owe you an apology. I'm sorry, Mike.
The world does not work here for us. Bobby,
slightly tilted.
Bobby, I will throw down the gauntlet to Louie because if I could get a free good meal of ribs out of that, I think that's pretty smart on my part, Bobby.
Yeah, we can probably work something out.
I had game planned this out well before making the comment.
You might want to try his al pastor steaks. They're excellent.
Yeah.
So he does them on the rotisserie and they've been marinated and seasoned, and it's a whole thing. He stabs them on a sword and cooks them on a rotisserie. It's pretty fantastic.
The date is May 11th for both the luau and Surf Quest.
So Surf Quest, go home, take a shower, come to luau.
Yeah. Go do some Surf Quest, help some kids surf, help some people surf, have a good time out there.
Yes.
And then come celebrate like the Hawaiians would with a luau.
Absolutely.
Exactly, 100%. That's what we should do. How was Thursday's show? I know Blake lost and has been crushed.
Trivia of the ages. So he had an early lead, and Troy's like, I just want to save face here. He was like, this isn't going to happen. But he ended up coming back strong, and he took it in the end. So
Troy's won 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
This is like a streak we have not seen since the days of him competing against Pete Melfi.
Yeah.
However, Pete Melfi did win like 26 contests in a row to come back and win an entire year of trivia. Nice. He was like, I can beat you at any time I want, but I'm going to spot you the first 24 and then I'm going to win the next 26.
It's funny.
It was absolutely amazing. Yes.
That's hilarious.
It was unbelievable. I was in Nashville. I will say this. I felt a little bit like Pete Melfi.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I just felt like there were too many people there. I mean, I
thought it was because you were confused and you thought that you were actually in Utah.
No, I had nothing to do with Utah. It's just Broad Street. It's just crazy down there. The amount of people, the vans or the big trucks with people in them drinking, the pedal bicycle bars, the little bars that you sit on and they drive you around. And it's not a big area, but the amount of people they put into it, and they have 2-story to 6-story buildings.
Yeah.
And almost every floor inside these buildings is a bar and a stage for somebody to perform. And there's some really good young performers there that nobody's heard of. Hopefully we will someday. But it's just absolutely the volume of people that are there now compared to 2012 when I first started going, 2011, because we had a son that was going to college there, is unreal. If that were to happen here in St. Augustine, I would just cry.
You're out.
Every day I would cry. It's just, and the amount of young ladies that go there for a bridal party.
Oh yeah.
It's just crazy. I mean, there's all kinds of different tourism. They have really cornered the market on drinking tourism. There's just so many places.
Everywhere is Utah.
Everywhere. I don't know about that, Johnny Utah.
There might be too many bachelorette parties in Nashville for it to qualify as Utah.
No, I don't think it qualifies as Utah. Right now, I'm all for people having a really good time and enjoying themselves. But yeah, it was just a lot. We were down there, I think, from 11:30 to 2:30, and just the volume of people that showed up, I was like, it's time to go. Now, granted, there had been a big Predators hockey game on Friday night.
Okay.
There was a Morgan Wallen concert Friday night.
That's a big draw.
Saturday night. And Sunday night,
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and he was at the Titan Stadium. It was packed with people, just walking around downtown and then at the airport on Sunday. I don't know how much money they made off merch.
Yeah.
But it was a lot.
I
mean, I think it was probably about half of what Pete makes in a week off the 904 now. But it was yes, off the Florida. But it was really amazing to see how much merch had been sold.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's a lot of people wearing brand new Morgan Wallen shirts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's merch is a whole other thing now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much easier to do merch. Now, I mean, we could do merch if we could get logos approved, but
somebody has been stalling on approving the
logos, so we don't have merch. We could though.
All right,
I mean,
note to self: sometime this decade to get merch approved. I will, because some of the merch looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The problem is you have the buffalo surfing backwards, and that's not how we surf. So.
What do you want?
I know you're trying.
I'm not a surfer.
I know. But it was crazy number of people. We went to Eric Church's bar first, then we walked over to Garth Brooks. Eric Church's place is really cool. They have a venue downstairs. It's a bar open to the street, basically, with a bunch of windows. You go to the second floor, there's a bar on the second floor. Then if you go, the third floor and the fourth floor are a little reproduction of the Ryman Auditorium.
Oh, cool.
So if you're up on the fourth floor, you're looking down on the stage. If you're on the third floor, you're even with the stage. And then the fifth floor is a restaurant bar. And the sixth floor is another restaurant and a bar.
Goes on and on.
And we had to go get food on the sixth floor because they had sold out the first and second floor bars of food on Friday. This is Saturday morning.
How many kitchens does he have?
A lot of kitchens, but it was the volume of people, again, that were there for the Predators game and for the Morgan Wallen concert.
And they don't like stairs.
But on the wall, no, there's a lot of you're walking a lot of stairs. On the wall on the sixth floor, there's a sign. Now, granted, this event only happened like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Right? The sign says, "Don't even think about it. You're not Morgan Wallen."
All right.
It means don't throw any chairs off of the sixth floor roof.
Okay.
So yes, it was a and Nashville's a great city. There's a lot of stuff to do. My sister and her family live just outside of the downtown area. And it's really, you wouldn't even know you're this close to all these highways and everything. And and then we went to visit Darcy's family. And obviously Jason, Courtney's husband, grew up there. So he's all these back roads. We never had to get on the interstate. It was so nice. That was so nice. And then on the way back, they left early. And I'm like, we are finding our way back the back way. So Darcy and I, between a little bit of help from the navigation and a lot of good memory, we're like, no, we don't turn here. We go another half a mile. Or no, this is where we turn. But it's really cool because we didn't have to get on there.
Challenge yourself.
Yes. Yep. Barbara Jean says we need the 904 Cool Kids merch. So apparently I am not the only person on the network that is slow to approve merch.
Well, I mean, this is a special group of fans that have a group chat.
Yes.
That have been requesting their own merch. So there is 904 now, Florida merch, but they want specific Cool Kids merch.
I can tell you that it's a really cool group because I have not been invited to it. That's how cool I know it is. Because if I was in it, it wouldn't be cool. So
I was invited.
Yeah, I understand. The cool kids are all there and the nerds are not. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, you probably were invited. You just never check your notifications. So.
Oh, is it like a Facebook invite?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. It might still be out there.
Yeah.
I really
check
should
your messages.
I'm on Facebook all the time. I really should check Facebook.
Sure. So Susan Johnson mentioned the ribs that were at the Jimmy Jam Bourbon and Barbecue event.
Yes.
They were amazing.
Okay.
They were the best ribs that I've ever had. I'm not a huge ribs fan, and so Louis doesn't make them for me as a result. But they were fantastic. They were the best ribs I've ever had, to the point that I actually enjoyed them.
Bobby's in the Cool Kids group?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check back. You know what? There's a part of me that wants to check. And there's a part that doesn't, because if I don't have the invite, like if I have the invite, I'm going to feel guilty for not having responded to it. If I don't have the invite, I'm going to be crushed that I don't have the invite.
So, you know what you need to do, Cool Kids? You need to decide whether you want Mike to cry or not.
No, it's okay. Look, if it's out there, I promise I'll go find it. But yes, I was laughing.
So there's a really cool thing that happened in St. Augustine, or is happening in St. Augustine. There's a St. Augustine Public Montessori School, and they have an Odyssey of the Mind vehicle team that has won the state. They placed in the state competition, and they're now been invited to go to, I believe, the national competition in Iowa State. And so they're trying to raise money to be able to afford to get the team to nationals with our Odyssey of Mind. So I'm going to put it up and I'm going to put it in the comments. But this is the St. Augustine Public Montessori School. These are the kids that are in the team. This is an Odyssey of Mind robotics challenge. They've made a vehicle that has placed very highly and garnered them an invitation to this national competition. If you have the St. Augustine Record, there was a front page article about these kids in the Record. So I'm going to drop this in the comments. If you would like to help these kids get to nationals, then they're trying to get to Iowa.
Awesome. We need to get them on the air.
Yes, we can do that.
You're in charge of that.
Okay. I will reach out to my contact and I will see if I can get them on air.
Barbara Jean, Mike, liar, liar, pants on fire. I invited you. Barbara Jean, I told you I didn't look.
He didn't check his invites.
Now I feel horrible for not having seen it. And so, Barbara Jean, I apologize.
Yep.
Which makes me feel slightly better than crying myself to sleep tonight because I didn't get an invite. So, Barbara Jean, I will go back through and try to find it.
They like you. They really like you.
They like me. You really like me. So I feel like Sally Fields. Yes. So I greatly appreciate the invite and I will join the group.
Yay.
I'm not a joiner, Barbara Jean, but I will join.
Nice.
We'll
get everybody in there.
Barbara Jean, it's the one thing Pete and I probably have in common more than anything else. I think we're both contrarians.
Yeah.
I mean, if everyone's headed in a certain direction,
you're a little more of a hugger than he is.
I am. I don't mind hugs. That's the one thing that we are not alike at all. I do not mind hugs. But yeah, I mean, generally, like if they're like, why are those weird kids going off in that direction? It's probably me and Pete.
Yeah.
Like, we're not following you. We're just going to do our own thing. So,
right
and
on.
a lot of you guys out there are free thinkers and do your own thing as well. So that's kind of why you're here.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because there's a lot of junk that you could be watching right now, but you're watching us. So we greatly appreciate that.
We appreciate that a lot.
We do. We really, really do. Right. There's a couple of videos out on the internet right now. One of them is it's some protesters. I don't know what part of the country it's from. I don't know what college campus it is from. There's a police line, and the video was filmed from the police line looking at the protesters. And all of a sudden, a couple of protesters decide to run at the line of police. Now, they have helmets on. They have goggles on.
Do.
No,
the protesters?
One of them even has like a gas mask on, right? Like you would wear in science class or something. It's broad daylight. They're running at them. They have taken the time, energy, and effort to take a plastic garbage can, Rubbermaid garbage can. You can clearly see if you're a garbage can aficionado like I am as a construction person, having to clean up job sites all the time, you know what a Rubbermaid trash can looks like. They have cut it out in the shape of a shield. They have apparently attached handles to the inside of it so that they can run. Three of them start to run down this slight incline. It's not even a hill. It's a slight incline, right? Slight incline. At the police. One of them gives up because it's just too long of a run.
Got a cramp.
And as you watch the three of them run, you realize this is the first time in their life that they have tried to run, right? Maybe in PE as a first or second grader, but not since. They gave it up. They brought a doctor's note that it was unhealthy for them. They had asthma, who knows what, right? So they go running down at the police.
Oh, man.
They've got some speed and some momentum, but not a lot.
Okay.
And they're not down low. It's like they're up high with their hands. They're off balance. The police officer literally just sticks his hand out. I don't think he moves a fraction of an inch backwards as he contacts with the protester. The protester, immediately is on his backside. And then both of them are arrested. But it's like, you guys planned for this? You thought this was a good idea for
you
three
DIY'd
of you,
shields
for three of you, and you're using a Rubbermaid shield. Let me explain something to you. I'm pretty sure the rubber bullet passes through the Rubbermaid shield, right? It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my there. In the background, there's like 40 police officers. Three of you going out. How many movies have you watched of John Wick where one guy took out 40?
So I'm picturing
with a Rubbermaid trash can.
I'm picturing Braveheart. You know the scene when they realize that they're going to be facing cavalry, and Mel Gibson's character, they cut down a bunch of trees and they make really long spears, and they make the joke twice as long as a man, and some men are longer than others, haha. And so they hide the spears, and then they lift them right at the last second, and they pierce through all the horses, and the British go flying. That's what I'm picturing right now. Except the police officer just had to do this.
Just held his hand out. It's just hold.
Please tell me that someone has spliced this with Gandalf saying, "You shall not pass."
No, they did not.
Come on, internet.
Bobby,
do this for me.
The protesters probably had to hit their vape pens during the run. I think the ones that didn't make the run were already on the vape pen.
Oh, man.
There's a whole story of different places where the protesters have demanded food.
Oh, yeah.
Vegan
Humanitarian
food.
aid.
Humanitarian aid.
Because they're going to die of dehydration and starvation.
There's a water fountain in there.
But you can't use that. It's dirty.
You can drink out of the water fountain. We grew up drinking out of the hose outside.
These are Zoomers and Gen Alpha. They don't drink out of water fountains.
Yep. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, I know that that's a myth that Sally Field didn't actually say that. That's a whole funny, like, weird rabbit hole that'll have you questioning all life if you look down Mandela effect things. Because, like, there are things that you know existed. And you swear it existed the way that you remember it. And then you go down these Mandela effect rabbit holes, and it'll have you questioning your entire
I understand Pete's frustration with that. As a Casablanca huge fan. Humphrey Bogart never says in the movie, "Play it again, Sam." But that is...
You played it for her, play it for me. Sam, play it for me.
He never says, "Play it again, Sam." Ever does Humphrey Bogart say that. But everybody attributed that line to him. Somewhere along, somebody said it, and it got into the public.
Spoofed it.
Yeah, it got into the public mind, collective, and there it laid for the longest time. So, gosh, I feel like we have a hall monitor today.
There's the Fruit of the Loom logo.
Yes.
They say never actually had a cornucopia in it. I swear it did. I remember it having a cornucopia in it, and I've had people, like, I've looked this up, and people in the comments are like, I own shirts that have a cornucopia in the logo that I bought in the 80s. Like, you cannot tell me that this never existed, because I know that it did.
Have you seen a picture of it?
The shirts, yeah.
Okay.
And so but, you know, Photoshop is Photoshop, so it can happen.
Who knows?
But yeah, like, people get real mad. They get real mad when you go down the Mandela effect. Like the Berenstein Bears, and like the spelling is different than everyone remembers it. Like, it's a whole thing.
Why is it called the Mandela effect? Psychologist Amanda. If you don't answer quickly, Pete will.
I don't remember why.
Pete, let us know why, since you're the smartest person that owns the network.
And you're actually watching today.
I
Welcome,
know.
Pete.
We're really happy.
Even if it makes him nervous.
It does make me slightly nervous. It's like the principal's going to call me in the office if I say something wrong. Hey, the other video that's out there today that was really pretty, you can Google it. It's time travel in a guy's backyard. Now, I think whoever did this is an amazing spoof. It is a phenomenal prank.
I was trying to watch it before the show because you sent it to me, and I had to pause it, and the screenshot of the dude's face is so funny.
Does it not look like an alien?
Oh, no.
It looks like an alien. It looks like an alien humanoid, right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool hand Luke. Famous line, what we have here is a failure to communicate, not a failure.
Nelson Mandela, that's funny.
Oh, is that why it's
that's
Mandela
why
effect?
It's Mandela. I never thought he died.
People thought that he died in jail.
Yeah, I thought they were still doing concerts for him.
Yeah.
They did concerts and protests to free Nelson Mandela. You were like you were in kindergarten. It was way before you. Yes.
I'm so young.
Yes, I know. So anyway, the story goes this time traveler. Some guy starts talking about there's a theory of time travel, and there's this video that's very interesting. And, I know things can be time stamped and blah, 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 right? So it shows this guy wandering around another person's backyard. Mm-hmm. He says, well, they have an Airbnb in the back. It is not an Airbnb. It's a shed. If that's an Airbnb.
It could be an Airbnb. It doesn't take much.
Well, they haven't tried that in St. Augustine that I'm aware of, right? So anyway, the young guy walks in the shed. Uh-huh. He calls the cops because there's a guy wandering around. The shed should have been locked. There's no way he should be in there. Cops show up, walk in the shed. There's nobody in the shed. Mm-hmm. All right. You can only see the front two sides of the shed. You can't see the other side and the back of the shed. You have no idea if there's a door back there or not. The cops are talking to the guy on the ring. Well, we can't find him. There's nobody here. I don't know if it's a friend who's a cop. I don't know if it's somebody dressed up as a cop. I don't even know if it's a real cop. I got no clue. Yeah. Right? Then the next day, somebody walks out of the shed.
That no one saw walk in?
That no one saw walk in. And we've looked at all the video for 36 hours and we've never seen anyone walk into the shed other than the one guy who wasn't there when the police got there. And he walks out as an older man. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, this is a great prank. Yeah. This is a phenomenal prank. And there he is. He's an old man. You guys can look this up. It's and he's kind of like a Bernie Sanders old man, right? He's kind of like grumpy. I'm time traveling here.
So now we're comparing the face of the man, the young man, and the old man.
I'm not a rich time traveler. I got to use a shed. I'm not even one of the 1%ers.
I'm not friends with Michael Douglas. Yes. I'm not Ant-Man. I got no quantum mania up in here.
Is Michael Douglas in a show that's coming out where somebody said he was in a movie where he played Ben Franklin?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Does he still have his hair? Because I can't imagine Michael Douglas getting rid of his hair, right? At that age, if you still got hair, you're not shaving it for fear it might not come back.
You can put a bald cap on.
You're not shaving it for fear it might not come back at that age.
You can do a bald cap.
But anyway, he played Ben Franklin. And I thought that was an interesting pick for somebody to play Ben Franklin.
Well,
according to my wife who is trying to watch, we are frozen. So you have to refresh. I will text her.
Hop out and come back in, Darcy.
Hop out and come back in. If anybody else is having problems, let us know.
He has hair in the Franklin drama. Yes.
He has hair?
Yes. I've got an image here.
Oh. All right.
He's wearing a hat there. Yep. He's got hair. See? He did not shave.
Somebody said it was a good show, though. For those of you that are looking for a show, I think Michael Douglas.
I think my brother-in-law watched it and he really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think this is the one he was telling me about.
Yep.
But so it's kind of surprising to me that Michael Douglas is playing that because I'm still expecting him to be like in Romancing the Stone with his boots and whatnot.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's one of the best movies ever.
Kurt Russell, who's like, I still think of as being like hotsy-totsy Kurt Russell from Overboard and whatever, like problematic behavior, but still hotsy-totsy and Overboard. But he plays Santa. He and Goldie Hawn are Mr. and Mrs. Claus. And some really like decent Christmas movies on Netflix that my kids really enjoy. So it's weird that I'm getting to the age where like the hot guys when I was a kid and just starting to notice hot guys in movies are now playing Benjamin Franklin and Santa.
Well, imagine being a dude and you had all these hot women that you looked up to and now you're in your 50s and they're in their 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
And some of them, I will tell you, still look really rather amazing.
Yeah.
And I have to give them credit. I think it's much harder. Women have a much harder standard to meet than men do.
And we have a much harder road to hoe when it comes to aging. Like our body doesn't just naturally age as gracefully as men do.
Yep.
I agree. Goldie Hawn can do anything and she's an adorable Mrs. Claus. I love her as Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought the bikini girl from Laugh-In would one day become Mrs. Claus.
Do you know what? And my wife is watching on the app because she doesn't have Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
So the app is what's giving her the problem.
If you want to talk, I can go see if I can refresh it for her.
Yes, if you will. If you will do that, I will see what else I can. Road to hoe. God, Davey misses nothing. Davey, I'm going to miss you tomorrow. I have planning and zoning all day. I think it starts at 1 and we might be done by about midnight. So you're going to have to carry the show without me. And I have all kinds of fun things that I would like to talk to you about. But you're just going to have to wait a week because there's no way I'm going to be able to make it in time to help you out.
I got her.
All right, Darcy, you should be good to go. I will text her and let her know. Amanda, thank you very much for fixing the app.
I'm here to help.
Even though we were all here in Facebook.
I'm not from the government. That's why I could actually help.
That's a good thing.
You know what we failed to mention?
What?
For our friend Tim.
What do we have for Tim?
I have listened to so much Taylor Swift today because my daughter was in the car with me today.
Not
Taylor
O'Neill.
Swift is.
Not
Taylor,
O'Neill.
Yes, Cosgrove. Yes.
Yeah. Tim O'Neill's like, what? You're mentioning Taylor Swift
Why
for
are
me?
you telling me about Taylor Swift? Yes. There you go, Tim Cosgrove. We got you.
Yeah. No.
Yes. I have listened to a lot of Taylor Swift today. I had to go to Green Cove Springs with my daughter and my son for my final mock trial of the school year. And my team did very well. They, their client was found not guilty in one trial, and they won on points in the second trial. So they did an excellent job. It was a great day. But whenever my daughter's in the car, she is the DJ and she sets the playlist. And yeah, so much Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
So many Taylor Swift songs.
I don't have to listen to that.
It's a 50-minute drive from my house.
I have a Taylor Swift free zone.
You have an embargo in your vehicle?
It's in my truck. It's perfect. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Bobby, I don't think I ever watched Tango and Cash. I'll have to look it up.
Tango and Cash was not.
I remember seeing the poster for it, but I don't think
there was beefcake in it, but there wasn't much story in it, and it was really kind of.
Depends on what you're watching it for. Am I right?
Listen, I'm not judging. Every guy on here that's watching has watched a stupid movie because some chick was in it.
Sylvester Stallone, I'm not big on, but I mean, that's a good era.
I'm telling you, Tulsa King. He was awesome in the Tulsa King. And season 2, they're working on it now.
It's a good era for Kurt Russell.
It was really, really fun. And Kurt Russell's always been one of my favorite actors.
He's so fun.
Yes.
I enjoy him.
Yeah,
Birdie on a Wire. I remember that one. That was a lot of fun.
What was it?
Birdie on the Wire.
You sure you got Kurt Russell there?
Is it? I don't know. Wait, is that Mel Gibson?
Bird on a Wire is Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn, but not Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Is one Hawkeye after another. Okay.
I know.
Wait, is Bird on the Wire the one where you see Mel Gibson's butt and it's fuzzy?
I didn't know. I didn't look. I looked away.
Let me know in the chat, ladies.
I looked away. You girls all tell Amanda what Mel Gibson's butt looked like.
I've seen it, and it was fuzzy, and I was surprised at how fuzzy it was.
We went to go see What Women Want.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the actress's name. She was in, oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, her name in the movie was Darcy.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to get Darcy out of the theater.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, it's time to go. So I'm waiting for the next show, Helen Hunt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her name. And like every time Mel Gibson said Darcy, I was like, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I'm in deep trouble.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, listen, I'm good. All right, so little political stuff. Bill Maher has hit some home runs, I think, and some just observations.
Yeah.
But he had one this week that made me really mad. And I'm not like mad at him personally. I just think it's a poor comparison.
I just don't think Bill Maher is as much of a reader and as connected as he portrays himself to be. So he kind of goes where the winds take him a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's sort of, I see him as being kind of a headline reader, and rather than like digging into the story and checking the sources. So, it doesn't surprise me that he sometimes says things that I like and sometimes says things I don't like.
He's mad at Merrick Garland.
Oh, no.
Because Merrick Garland hasn't gotten Trump, which I didn't think the job of an attorney general is to get a former elected president and put him in jail. I didn't think that's the way the system worked, but Bill Maher was a little bit upset by this. He said, this is what you get when you try to reward somebody who got kind of screwed over by the Republicans because they wouldn't hear his nomination.
Yeah.
At the last year of Obama, and then Trump comes into office, and so they said, well, we'll make him attorney general. Now, I don't like him as attorney general because there's lots of things I think he hasn't done that he should have been doing, so for a different reason. But he compared him to one of the greatest American lawmen ever portrayed on TV.
Okay.
He compared him to Barney Fife. And I was appalled by this.
And you were personally offended by
I was personally offended. I mean, first of all, Merrick Garland has thousands of lawyers and cops at the FBI and the DOJ who work for him.
Yeah.
Barney was completely handcuffed. When he needed help, he had to get Goober, Otis, or Floyd to help him.
Yeah.
Barney had to carry that entire load all by himself with his one bullet in his pocket. The DOJ can listen in on anybody.
Yeah.
So to compare him to Barney Fife, when Barney Fife obviously was doing the best he could with the circumstances that he had, he didn't even have a private line. I mean, I will say this for Barney Fife. He could listen to every conversation in Mayberry.
Yeah.
You just had to lift up the receiver. So I guess he was kind of ahead of his time for an FBI guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Those party lines back in the day.
Those party lines back then. Yep. Nip it in the bud.
I still can't figure out how you would dial Klondike. They would give their phone number and it'd be like Klondike 476. Like, how do you dial that? I don't.
It's an abbreviation.
Okay.
Bobby, tell us what it is because it's past my time. It's before my time too. But it would have been an abbreviation, like KL something would have been you dial.
And you dial the numbers that are okay.
Yeah. It wasn't the whole Klondike because no one took that long to dial a number because we got bored with it and walked away.
Because you had to do the.
Yes. Listen, if you
you had to pick up and talk to an actual operator, right?
Yeah. If you
and you
had,
could tell the operator to connect you.
Well, I never had that. Okay. But if you had a friend that had like 4 zeros in their number, a lot of times it was just easier to ride your bike to their house.
I'm just breaking off this friendship.
Just like, no, you just rode the bike to the house because by the time you dialed the number, you could ride to the house.
Oh, Barbara Jean's calling you out.
I think it was the first 2 letters.
She said Barney Fife was not the one with the 1 bullet. It was Otis.
No, it was Barney Fife with the 1 bullet.
Okay.
I'm not.
Oh, wait. No, Otis was more on the ball than Barney was.
When he was drinking. Let's be honest. Otis was smarter when he was drinking.
All right.
Yes. Ask Troy. He is modeled a life after Otis. Just kidding.
Not so much lately.
I mean, Otis could let himself in and out of the jail.
Yes.
There were times Barney got locked in the jail. So Barbara Jean does have a
trustworthy.
point. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, I found the comparison to Barney Fife completely insulting.
Rude.
I don't think Merrick Garland could track down a cow thief who would put shoes on the cow.
Not him personally?
Not him personally.
You'd have to send a team.
No. I don't even think the team could track him down. It takes a skilled person like Andy Griffin to figure that out.
You know how they could track down that cow?
Oh.
If it was a registered Republican?
Yes. They could then.
Immediately arrested, straight to jail.
Yes. 1 bullet in his shirt, but he did.
Yeah.
Yep. Darren Barney. There's a whole song about Darren Barney. I can't remember it. Yes, somebody will remember it. I think Barney wanted his song about himself, and Andy kind of made a parody of it, which was very, very funny.
All right.
Yes, it was.
All right. We'll find it.
I just think, and listen, they had floozies back then too. They had the girls from Mount Pilot.
It's the world's oldest profession a reason.
No, these were just the wild girls from Mount Pilot that came over. They took Barney and Andy out one night because they were mad at Thelma Lou and I can't remember Barney's girlfriend's name. But yeah.
Andy's asking, was Otis the one regular character that was married?
I can't remember if the mayor was married. I think Rafe Hollister might have been married. But Otis was the one reoccurring one. I don't think Floyd was married. Goober may have been married. We just don't know.
I got, was Otis the only? And then Google autofilled married person in Mayberry.
Mm-hmm. Aunt B wasn't married. She was a widow. Not. Yeah.
The only person on the show who was married was Otis. And he was drunk all the time.
Yeah.
That's not a slight against marriage, just a funny observation. Was it though?
Was it?
Was it?
Was it? You gotta ask.
Mean, the way Hollywood's going today, we're still giving them the benefit of the doubt.
You know, I'm just grateful that that show was done during that time period when like morals mattered, what was on TV. Because if you came up with a show today about a small town where only one couple was married and everybody else was single, you would only be able to show it on HBO after 9 o'clock, even today.
It wasn't Mayberry. It would be Swingersberry.
That would be something. Barry.
Oh, it'd be The Villages. Suddenly, Bath Poof Loofah sponge things are going to be sold out everywhere.
Helen was Andy's girlfriend in that episode, Bobby. He had another girlfriend, yes.
So they had one chick that was his girlfriend, and audiences hated her.
Yes.
And she ended up getting fired and replaced. That's why Andy's girlfriend changed, because she did not play well with audiences. Audiences did not like her for Andy.
I wonder if Helen was that person, because I think she was in more shows. And then they had the pharmacist, I think Ellie. Ellie was the pharmacist, I think. Swinging berries. Oh my gosh. I've turned you people loose on a really bad idea. Oh, so glad that show was done when it was done.
Yeah. And it hasn't been rebooted.
No, it has not been rebooted.
I hate reboots.
Some of them are just horrible.
There's, Helen Hunt, Twister. They're coming out with Twister 2 soon. I just get a pit in my stomach. Don't ruin my movies. Ghostbusters 2016. I'm still bitter.
That was a bad movie. That
was terrible.
Oh, it was awful. Ellie was in the first season. So Ellie must have been the one they dumped for Helen. That's interesting because this might be the one instance where they dumped a younger actress to put an older actress with Andy.
The romance between Andy Taylor and Ellie Walker ended promptly with Eleanor Donahue's real-life departure from the show. Although she had been signed to a 3-year contract, she got fired. Audiences did not like her. So yeah, Ellie was fired because audiences didn't think that she deserved Andy. That Andy deserved better. You
know what it was? She was young and she had a job. You can't do that back then if you were a woman. Of course, Helen was
absolute scandal.
Helen was a school teacher, right? That was an acceptable job. That was an acceptable job back then.
Oh yeah.
Look at us throwing people back then under the bus. All right,
the patriarchy.
I know, the patriarchy. Oh gosh, I don't remember a Penny or a Peggy.
Penny or a Peggy?
I do remember Peggy Sue, but that was Buddy Holly's girlfriend.
Buddy Holly.
All right, so we have 5 questions.
His long-term girlfriend was Helen Crump.
Helen Crump. Yep.
All right.
Juanita from the diner. Gosh. Josh, just hang in there. It'll all be good. One day.
The only reason I can contribute, Josh, is because I'm Googling.
Yes.
I don't know anything.
You're good. You're good. All right. So 5 questions before Josh gets bored. So it is Monday. We've been doing this for a long time. Cinco de Mayo was yesterday.
Yes.
Obviously a day created, according to Amanda, to drink beer by Corona. So what is your favorite drinking holiday?
Yeah.
Tim Cosgrove, you're not allowed to say a day of the week.
All days that end in Y.
You're not allowed to say any day that ends in Y, Tim. It doesn't work. But what's your favorite drinking holiday?
Mine's got to be St. Patrick's Day. I love St. Patrick's Day.
I think New Year's Eve.
Yeah?
New Year's Eve is a pretty good one too. You're like at the end of the year. You're like, okay, I'm ready to have a drink to last year. We'll toast the next year. I'm ready to kind of get rolling. And so I think New Year's Eve is there as well.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably New Year's Eve then St. Patrick's Day.
4th of July is kind of a beer day, but you have to be careful if you're the dad on the 4th of July.
So you don't blow your
hand off with fireworks. I mean, it's kind of like a risk reward thing by drinking. Yeah. So that you got to be careful of. And then if you're out with another guy, like he's in charge of the fireworks or at his house, you got to make sure he doesn't drink too much because you don't want him to blow up the house. So
Mike, you're so responsible.
I know.
This might be why you were not invited to the Cool Kids. I'm just kidding.
That's the entire
reason.
You
were invited.
I was invited.
Yes.
But no, St. Patrick's Day is a really good one. Yeah. 4th of July a little bit. I think New Year's is probably the only other one. And I don't count Cinco de Mayo as a U.S. holiday. I just count it as a drinking day.
How many people class Valentine's Day as a drinking holiday? I'm just curious.
All the people in New Mayberry.
It's Swingersberry.
Oh, gosh. Are we going to have fun with that for us? Someone's going to come on the show. Go, what is Swingersberry? Where did you guys get this from? All right. Summer's coming up. You're almost done teaching. You get to go on summer vacation.
Almost.
What is your favorite spot to go summer vacation?
I my dad has taken us a couple of times to an all-inclusive in Mexico, and I love it. It has this amazing hydrotherapy room that you can go into, and there's ice plunges and steam rooms and hot tubs and cold showers. It's this whole experience. You just keep going from hot to cold to hot to cold to hot to cold, kind of shock your system. You come out of there feeling like $1,000,000. I love it. It's all-inclusive. The drinks are great. The food's great. They love it when my kids are there. They treat my kids fantastic. All of the resorts that we've been to one in Dominican Republic in the same company. They always treat my kids like they're royalty. It's great. So I would say one of the Palace resorts in Mexico or Dominican Republic. Any of the Palace resorts, they're fantastic.
See, and I love, most people want to go someplace warm, right? Yeah. And I want to go to the mountains during the summertime.
You want to get away from all the people.
I want to get away from the people.
You want to be where the people are.
I want to go so far out there on a summer vacation that I bump into Pete Melfi. That's how far away that I want to go on summer vacation.
And you're going to ruin his day because that's close to a hug.
And I'm going to give him a hug when I see him in the parking lot. No, I like the mountains because I like it when it's cooler in the morning and at evening. And I love Florida.
Yeah.
But about the middle of the summer, I'm ready to go somewhere where it's a little bit cooler at night and kind of break that 6-month routine of 70-degree weather and all of that.
I enjoy going to the mountains also. It's not my favorite place though. My favorite place is someplace where everything's included and people are just handing me foods and drinks and my kids are loved and welcomed. But we did go to a mountain cabin a couple of years ago. As long as there's a river that you can go tubing down, then I'm down. We had a hot tub on our deck with a beautiful view of the valley and Blue Ridge. And then during the day, we would go tubing down the river. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great trip.
Lazy river or like a flowing fast river?
This was a tubing river, so it was lazy.
Yeah.
I would alternate between tubing and whitewater.
Okay.
I'd do it.
All right. Yeah, I'm going someplace cooler. Tim said Alaska. That's a little too cool for me, and it's bear season up there.
My friends invited me on an Antarctica cruise.
Are you going?
I can't go.
Why?
Because it's the wrong time of year for me.
Do we
to
need
be
to
able
do a
to travel.
GoFundMe page for you?
Yes, we do. So they're going on one. Is my friend who's in Peru. Their kids don't know, but she doesn't watch the show, so we're good.
Do the kids watch the show? Because they just found out.
They don't have devices, so
right.
no. And so I was really considering scheduling my trip around that cruise so that we could go with them, but they're not doing the one where you step on Antarctica. And I don't want to go all the way down there and not step on the continent. I don't want to just like wave at it.
That's kind of like...
I was like, I don't want to blow my wad on going to Antarctica and not actually go there.
It's kind of like National Lampoon's Summer Vacation.
Yep.
Here's your Grand Canyon, kids. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, here's Antarctica.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
And so I was
if you're
like,
going, you gotta walk.
If I'm gonna make the effort and go through, it's a really rough boat ride through the strait to get down there. If I'm gonna, brave the seasickness and the icebergs, then I want to actually step on the continent. Those trips are 2 to 3 times more expensive. So that's why they're not actually stepping foot on the continent. So that's so close. So close.
So close. It's so far away. All right, best bar you've ever been to?
Best bar?
Best bar. We were in Nashville. They had tons of bars there. So best bar you've ever been. And I will say that I did like the Eric Church bar. I mean, there's a lot of stairs.
Sounds like he's building his own Tower of Babel.
Get it? I just think it was a tower
Eric Church?
of drinking. Well, he's got a song called Crazy Land, and it has all these names through it about people that have broken up in relationships, and the names were on the chairs.
Yeah.
The backs of some of the chairs. And that was really funny because people were like, oh, you're sitting in that chair. Oh, you're sitting in that chair.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, they had a lot of fun with it. They really did. And I thought it was pretty well done. So,
my favorite bar that I've ever been to would probably be the Edgar Allan Poe bar that we went to when we were in New Orleans. It was super fun. Everything was really decorated and really themed out, and the staff were very invested in the presentation. It was really great. I don't know if it exists anymore. I don't know if it survived that virus thing that shut down a lot of small businesses, but it was a cool bar. And we ended up finding it by accident because there was like a medical pharmaceutical museum that looked kind of creepy and kitschy. and we were on, this was just a couple's trip. We didn't have the kids with us. And so we decided to try and do the tour, but we had like an hour or two to kill before the tour started. So we went there, and the bar was really cool. And then the tour was really awesome. If you're ever in New Orleans, definitely find the pharmaceutical museum, the pharmacological museum. It's such a cool little tour. It's not an expensive thing. It's really interesting. So
Tim, not to discriminate against any bar he's ever been to, said all of them, right? So
equal opportunity.
Yes. I like rooftop bars. There's a lot of really cool rooftop bars that I've been to. But we were in the Tetons at Jackson Hole, and it really wasn't a bar so much as like a bar restaurant, kind of like a snack place at the top, but they served whiskey. So we had hiked all day long at like 8,000 feet elevation. I mean, we were tired.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're having whiskey before we get on the monorail and go down. And the view was just spectacular, just sitting up there. So that was a really fun one. And then in Utah, we got into the first bar in the state of Utah. This story is just for Pete Melfi.
Back to Utah.
Just for Pete Melfi in Utah. But it was on the other side of the mountains from Ogden, little town. And the bar, Pete's studio was bigger than the bar was. So we sat in there to get a burger and a beer. And I'm waiting for the waitress to come up to me. And finally, after 4 or 5 minutes, she goes by, she says, y'all ain't from here? You got to go over there and order. And then she walked back over there so she could take It's like, okay.
I don't do this job right here. You have to come to the spot on the floor where I do this job.
You got to come to the food was really good.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was just a little hole in the wall. And I thought, all these people in Utah had to go to that bar to get a drink.
Yeah.
Because it was a dry state. So, I mean, I thought, wow. Where are you going, honey? Well, I'm going to take a 3-day ride over to Ogden, and then I'm going to go over to the mountains and get a beer. I'll be back next Wednesday.
Yep.
So, but I thought that was a really fun place to go as well.
Susan mentioned a bar in Boston called The Library. It reminded me the Palace Resort that we went to, that we really had a fun time. There was a secret bar that it was one of those, if you know, you know. It's just a bookshelf that you walk past if you don't know.
Yes.
And so my husband was like, it's a secret bar. I want this to be cool. And for real, you had to like push the right book for the bookcase to open so that you could get in. So unless you know, you're not getting in.
You're not getting in.
And so my husband was, the last time we were at this resort, my husband was in school, and because it was during that C virus we're not allowed to talk about, he was still doing classes, but they gave him the option to do distance learning.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, well, I can go on the trip after all. And so he's zooming in from this like library secret bar in Mexico in his classes. And he like takes a sip of a cocktail, and all the other students in his cohort are like, what are you doing to us? This is so not fair. No. It's like August 2020. Like, well,
I'm following the rules.
We're social distancing.
I'm following the rules. Yes. Well, there was one cool bar. We were in Woodstock, Vermont.
Yeah.
And it was an old bar. It had probably been around for a couple hundred years. I mean, you walked in and it just had this old kind of bar feel to it. But it was really fun. Darcy and I sat there at the bar and had drinks for a couple hours. And it was our bartender was that was a really fun one too. So, yes.
My brother and I heard about a haunted bar in a town in South Dakota. And when my grandfather and my step-grandmother took us on a Western trip, we found out we were going to be stopping in the town that this haunted bar was in. And it was one of those like Mysteries at the Museum or Unsolved Mysteries or something like that show. And so they legit took my brother and I as like a 10 and 12-year-old into this haunted bar at like 11:30 in the morning because we wanted to go to the haunted bar. We'd never been in a haunted spot before. And so they had a little like setup for anybody that came, the looky-loos, since it had gone national on the news or on a TV show. And so they like let us sit in the basement and watch the little report again. And I'm certain it had to have been a member of staff, but one of the doors like randomly opened and no one walked through. And so Ian and I were terrified and we ran out.
Ran out of there.
So that was like my first bar I ever went into.
That question might have gotten the longest response time in like months. Favorite bar, and we're just like, keep going. So next Tuesday, we'll do all bar shows with Davey.
We might be
every bar we've ever been to. I don't recognize a problem here, but maybe I should.
We're fine.
Yes, we're good. Job you want to stay busy at in retirement?
If you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably know my answer. So I just discovered this as a legitimate job. Like it's an actual job.
Are you allowed to say this on
Yes,
there? Okay.
I am.
Okay.
So at Ren fairs,
okay.
there's different acts at Ren fairs. And so you walk around and there's like different booths and there's different performers and different artisans that are demonstrating their craft and selling stuff. So one of the jobs is an insult comic that would get people riled up to sell tomatoes to throw at the people in the stocks. And so I think an insult comic at a Ren fair would be a hilarious job. You can travel around, see the country, meet people. You get to wear costumes all the time, and you get to just roast people for fun.
What was the dog on David Letterman that would insult everybody?
Courage? No, not Courage.
No, it wasn't Courage. It was something.
Courage is a different dog.
The insult dog. You had a cigar.
Conan,
it was a hand puppet.
for me to poop on.
Yeah, some of you guys out there that watched, I was never a Letterman fan,
Conan,
but I'm pretty sure it was on
dog
Letterman.
puppet.
Maybe it was Conan. It was Conan.
It's Conan.
Maybe it
Triumph the insult comic dog.
That dog.
Yes.
Yeah. Man,
so that would be my retirement job.
In retirement, I just want to stay busy doing useful things.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to work
Are you
every day.
insinuating that Renaissance Fair insult comic is not useful?
No, I think it's very useful to you, and I think that's a great thing for you to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do. There's a lot of woodworking things I've never gotten a chance to do, stuff like that would be fun. So I want to have fun with that. I'd like to continue to surf and go places and do those things. But after this will be 36 years that I have been out of college. So
all right,
yeah, 40 years from high school. Woo!
This is my 21st year out of college. I'm working on my 21st year.
Kids. I'm working with kids. I'm working with
my college degree can drink.
All right.
And then tell us our favorite bar.
Yes. That's what I would like to do is find new favorite bars.
Yeah.
Those of you that are retired with me, get in touch with me. We will be finding new favorite bars. And the great thing is about at our age finding new favorite bars is Uber and Lyft are around. They weren't around when we were younger. So we're good. So. Yes. Yeah. Scam attempt. Your most annoying scam attempt or your most favorite one because you just have fun with it.
Duh. So I'm the administrator on lots of business pages. Accidentally, I don't know why people keep giving me admin privileges on their business pages.
I gave her admin privileges.
This is facts. So I am an admin on our church's page. And a flippin' scammer went into the comment section. So I talked to you about the guy that went into a year-old live stream and started commenting on my post and then tried to friend me, and it was this whole thing. An account with the same name went into the church Facebook page, found a bunch of apparent widows in the comment sections of our live streams and tried to do like a whole sob story that just was the exact same sob story
to all the different women.
To every single woman that looked single or was single in the comment section of the old church live streams. So then I have to go through and I have to block this dude, and then here's the whole thing. So scammers suck and I hate you.
Well, this was during COVID when we're all watching church on live stream. And I'm sitting there next to Darcy, and we have an older, I won't say they're an older couple. They're in their 90s that have been there for forever.
Mazel tov.
And I get a message on Facebook from the gentleman. And Jim comments, "Hey, what are you doing today?"
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I know this is a scam. I'm going to go to church. Are you going today? And sure enough, there is Jim in the front row of the church in the service as this text is coming through to me.
Yeah.
And then I said, this is an elderly gentleman who you are pretending to be.
Yeah.
Who happens to be at church, and I'm watching it right now on TV. You really need to find something better to do with your life because this is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. Great. Find something else to do that's useful because this is just a waste of your life, young man, person, whoever. Jerk. All right,
apparent human.
Tomorrow morning, the morning crew will be on.
They will be.
I will either have subscribed to a group that I got invited to or not, depending on whether or not the link is still live. Barbara Jean was going to look at that.
All right.
Sorry, Barbara Jean. I think I probably already told you once. And then also tomorrow, you and Davey have the show. I have civic duty to do.
You do.
My once a month meeting of the City of St. Augustine Planning and Zoning. So But you guys will do a great job. I will miss the show. Davey is hilarious, and I will miss spending an afternoon.
We'll miss having you here.
Yes, I will miss.
If the carousel comes up, approve it. I want the carousel back.
I'm not allowed to say in public that I would 100% vote for the carousel. Wink.
I didn't ask you to tell me what your vote is. I just told you to vote the way I want you to.
So far, it has not come to us. I don't think it's coming to us.
You don't listen to me at all.
I have no idea. I just said that to make one of our viewers slightly angry. All right, you guys have a great night. We will be back tomorrow.
Bye.